Hey there, Becca here from Inside the Square, and welcome back to my channel. In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how you can show the title of a project in a portfolio on the mobile version of your Squarespace website. If you're using the layout Grid Overlay for the projects in your portfolio, you can only see the title on a hover. That's great for desktop, but there's no cursor on a mobile device. And what we're going to do is use just a little bit of custom CSS to make sure that that title is visible on smaller screens. Now, all the codes I'm about to share with you are listed in the description below, but I'm going to go ahead and share my site so you can see exactly how easy it is to set this up step by super simple step. Let's get started. So here we are inside Squarespace, and I have a portfolio set up with different projects. You'll see on desktop, I can hover over this with my cursor. When I look at the mobile view, I can do the same thing, but there's no cursor on a mobile device, so we need to use CSS to make sure that title is visible. Now, before we add the code, I just want to hop into edit mode to show you really quickly. Under the edit section option for this layout, I've selected Grid Overlay. Grid Simple will display the titles, hover, follow, cursor, fixed, and background also display the titles. We're talking about the Grid Overlay layout. Okay, now that you've got that set up, let's navigate to Design, and we'll select Custom CSS. Now I'm going to change this to the mobile view so we can see what will be happening on a smaller screen. I'll paste this code into my custom CSS, and again, this is listed in the description below. What this code says is that on any screen that is 799 pixels or smaller, take that portfolio text and give it an opacity of 1, so it's visible. If we don't add this code, the portfolio text is set to opacity 0, so it's transparent. Now, why did we choose 799? 799 is the breakpoint for the mobile menu on your Squarespace website. So anytime someone sees this mobile menu, that means they're likely to be using a tablet or a mobile device. Now, if you just want this on phones and not on tablets, you can set this to 640 or any other pixel width that you like, but I recommend 799. Now, one last thing I'd like to teach you is how to make sure that that title really stands out. It's kind of hard to read, especially like on this background here. When we have the overlay effect, we're actually going to see some color behind it. Now, I want to make sure the picture is in full color, but we're going to use a little more CSS to make sure that that title is even more visible. I'm going to add an extra line of code before this final curly bracket. I've now given a background to just the title, so it'll stand out a lot more. Now, if you do want to change that background to be slightly transparent so we can still see some image behind it, you shouldn't use an opacity filter, and I'll show you why. If I say opacity 0.5, it'll make the text transparent too. What you're going to want to do is use an rgba code. rgba lets you change the opacity. This code right here is going to make sure that just that background color is at 50% opacity, while the text itself is still fully visible. Now, there's a little bit more code that we could add, which I'm going to add right here into my custom CSS. I have listed this in the description below. But what this code does is it actually gives it a curved edge with that border radius. So now the corners are curved in, and it gives it a border around the title itself, helping it stand out a little bit more. Again, this is super customizable and just my personal preference. You don't have to have any of that if you don't want to. Just remove that code and stick with our original one, and the titles will be visible. But if you add that code, you can make it stand out just a little bit more. Now, before we call this tutorial done, I just want to show you the desktop version of our site has not been affected. It still works the exact same way. All we did was change how this is visible on the mobile version of our site. I'm going to go ahead and select Save, and we'll call this tutorial good to go. All the codes I just shared are listed in the description below, along with that code where you can customize the background color and add a border to that project title. So if you use that code, be sure to change up those colors and get really creative. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Give me a like and a comment if you did, and definitely subscribe to my channel because I post a brand new tutorial every single week, and I want to make sure you catch the latest. Thanks again for watching, and most importantly, have fun with your Squarespace website. Bye for now. If you liked this tutorial, you're going to love my Squarespace CSS cheat sheet. I put all of my custom codes and pro tips inside one gigantic PDF available now at insidethesquare.co/CSS. That's insidethesquare.co/CSS.